On the morning of October 14, 1978, a forest ranger stationed near the northern edge of the Velmora Forest Reserve reported something that would never appear in any official record. The ground had opened, not collapsed, not eroded, opened. A perfect circular void in the earth, its edges smooth, almost deliberate, as though something beneath had decided to reveal itself. But the opening was not the most disturbing detail. Around it, arranged with unnatural precision, were 6 rifles, military-issued, fully loaded, placed in a flawless ring, and beside each rifle, a pair of boots, empty, standing upright, as if the men who wore them had calmly stepped out and vanished into the dark below. There were no footprints leading away, no signs of struggle, no blood, no drag marks, only silence. And then, a sound, faint at first, almost mistaken for wind, but there was no wind that morning. It came from the opening, a slow, rhythmic vibration, like something breathing, watching, waiting. Within 72 hours, the entire site was sealed under government authority. The official explanation was brief: geological instability. Case closed. But deep within restricted archives, files that were never meant to be opened, there exists a record of what truly happened in that forest. A record of 6 men who went looking for something beneath the earth. And the moment something beneath the earth found them first. The Velmora Forest Reserve does not exist on most maps. To the public, it is an unnamed patch of protected land somewhere along a remote Eastern European mountain border, officially designated in 1953 as an ecological preservation zone. But long before its classification, the forest carried a different identity. Among the few settlements scattered miles away, particularly in the isolated town of Draven Hollow, it was known simply as the place that listens. Villagers did not speak of it openly, not because of superstition, but because of inheritance. The stories were passed quietly, often between generations, never written. They spoke of vibrations beneath the soil, of animals refusing to cross into the tree line, of hunters who returned from the forest unable to explain where they had been, or worse, unable to explain what they had heard. In 1921, a logging company attempted to establish operations along Velmora's southern boundary. Within 21 days, the project was abandoned. Machinery left behind, structures half-built. Workers fled without collecting wages. The official explanation cited unstable terrain, but internal correspondences told a different story. Repeated references to low-frequency sounds, disorientation among staff, sleep disturbances. One line, buried deep within a maintenance report, read, "We are being observed, not from above." By the mid-20th century, Velmora drew quiet attention from military intelligence. Reports of electromagnetic irregularities and unexplained subterranean heat signatures began to surface. Nothing conclusive, nothing actionable, but enough to warrant observation. Then, in 1967, satellite data, primitive but sufficient, detected a consistent thermal anomaly beneath a fixed region of the forest. It was labeled Zone K17, restricted immediately. No public documentation, no scientific publication, only surveillance. For nearly a decade, nothing changed, until 1976. That was when Operation Hollow Reach was approved. Officially, it was described as a geological survey mission, subterranean mapping, and mineral analysis. Unofficially, its true purpose was never disclosed beyond a handful of high-ranking officials. The team selected for the mission was small, 6 individuals, each chosen for a specific role, each with experience in environments where conventional rules no longer applied. The team was led by Commander Elias Vorn, a man known for maintaining composure under conditions that broke others. With him, Dr. Marcus Halden, a geophysicist specializing in subterranean anomalies, Sergeant Leonid Kravik, a tactical specialist with a history of deep reconnaissance operations, Corporal Andrei Voss, responsible for communications, Technician Pavel Oren, in charge of excavation and structural assessment, and finally, Observer Unit K4, an intelligence officer whose identity remains fully redacted to this day. Their mission began on October 9, 1978. They entered Velmora without announcement, without record, without acknowledgement. 5 days later, they ceased to exist. The first irregularity appeared on the second day. At precisely 14:32 hours, Corporal Voss recorded a pattern in the team's audio equipment. It was not interference, not static. It was structured, a low-frequency signal, repeating, consistent, origin unknown. Dr. Halden initially attributed it to natural geological processes, shifting rock layers, subterranean water movement. But even he noted something unusual. The signal did not fluctuate, it did not degrade, it maintained perfect rhythm, as though it were intentional. That night, Sergeant Kravik reported something more unsettling. He claimed he could feel movement beneath the ground, not vibration, movement, subtle but distinct, as though something was shifting directly beneath them. Commander Vorn documented the claim, but did not halt the mission. By the third day, the team began experiencing a shared phenomenon, a delay. Each step they took felt answered, not resisted, not absorbed, answered, as if the ground beneath them reacted just a fraction of a second too late. Technician Oren described it in his log. It feels like the Earth is aware of us. At 0317 hours on October 12, their instruments detected a massive hollow cavity beneath their position. The scale was unprecedented, too large to be a natural formation, too uniform. Excavation began immediately. What they uncovered was not rock, not soil, but a smooth, dark surface, cold, featureless at first glance, but under closer inspection, marked. Faint grooves, arranged in patterns that did not correspond to any language or natural formation. Observer Unit K4 recorded a single line. This is not geological. At 11:06 hours, the surface changed. Without warning, without sound, it opened. Not breaking, not cracking, but parting, revealing a vertical descent into darkness. No light reached the bottom, no echo returned from within. The void absorbed everything. Against protocol, Commander Vorn made a decision. They would descend. One by one, they entered, equipment active, communication lines open. The final transmission was recorded at 11:43 hours, 18 seconds, fragmented, unstable. The walls, they're shifting. This isn't stone. We're not alone. Then, a sound, deep, resonant, not mechanical, not natural, something vocal. And then, nothing. The transmission ended, and with it, all contact.
The response was not immediate. There was a delay, 36 hours before a recovery unit was deployed. Why that delay occurred has never been explained. The second team arrived on October 14th. Their orders were precise: locate the missing personnel, secure all materials, leave no trace. What they found did not align with any known scenario. The excavation site remained intact. There were no signs of collapse, no evidence of struggle, no disruption in the surrounding terrain. But the opening was gone. The surface had sealed itself, seamlessly, as if it had never been disturbed. The only evidence of the original team's presence was arranged above ground. Their equipment, their weapons, their boots, all placed in a perfect circle, facing inward, every item aligned with unnatural precision.